Hey guys, I'm Anna, the face behind Food Prep Sundays. I just wanted to put a quick video together just to tell you about the journey that has been Food Prep Sundays. I know when I'm looking at a lot of other people's online businesses or blogs, I'm super interested to know how they got started and when they got started and what their journey's been like. So for me, Food Prep Sundays launched in March of 2015, so we're just over a year old now, like in our toddler kind of phase, and it has been an incredible journey. Starting any form of side business, I think, on the side while also trying to work is incredibly challenging, particularly if you've got a job during your 9 to 5 that actually challenges you and you enjoy, and I'm lucky enough to have that. I love my job. So trying to find time outside of hours on your weekends when working full-time already makes it challenging to make time to cook and exercise and see your family and friends and things. It's been pretty challenging, and my biggest dilemma, I suppose, has been time. But why do we get started? So Food Prep Sundays. So I've always been fairly organized with my food, which is actually really not in alignment with my behavioral profile. So I'm actually quite a sporadic, go with the flow kind of girl. But what I quickly learned that doesn't help me in my health journey or in line with my health values, because I ended up not having food in the fridge to cook, and therefore either eating takeaway or like making a processed meal out of a sachet and then not eating enough vegetables or whatever. So more or less as soon as I actually moved out of home, and Josh and I actually moved to Queensland together, I got pretty committed and consistent with planning my food out for the week. And so what I'd do is I'd look at my week on a Sunday and go, okay, what have I got on? So Wednesday I'm out at a dinner, or Thursday I've got an event on or whatever. So I need to be cooking at home Sunday, Monday, Tuesday or whatever. And then I think, okay, well, if I'm going to cook those nights, I'll cook enough for lunch the next day as well. So that's sorted. And then the nights that I'm not cooking the night before, I need to have something prepared for lunch. Otherwise, I'm going to end up eating out as well. And so that's basically what it looks like. And it's also a really good habit to get into, because it actually forces you to confirm things with friends and family and actually make sure that the thing that you said you're going to do a month ago is actually going to happen. And with that, what I would do is always try a different recipe. I've obviously got those staple meals that we all love to cook and recook and easy and can do it with your eyes closed. But for me as a foodie, I've always liked trying new recipes and challenging myself and learning about different foods and things like that. But not in a Jamie Oliver kind of way, like in a very, I'm working my butt off all day and I'm tired and have like a window of 30 minutes to cook in. So I've always wanted to try new recipes, but to do that with a very simple, basic ethos in mind. And so I would always be taking my leftovers for lunch the next day, and people would be like, oh, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's the recipe? What's the recipe? And because I've always had a lot of issues with my IBS, with my stomach issues, the recipes that I would follow actually probably weren't the ones that I ended up using, because I had to sub out certain ingredients and sub in others and things like that. So it kind of occurred to me that what I probably could do is actually share the recipes that I'm using and then modifying with other people so they can use that to plan their week out as well. And so I did that. I just documented what I ate for a week or two, and then there was enough kind of stuff on there to launch it, so I pushed it to the public and let it just sit, and I got a lot of love. But I quickly learned that running a website is like super tricky, and there's so much tech stuff involved in that, and thank God I have a beautiful friend named Jared who has helped me extensively with a lot of tech stuff. But the website was really not user-friendly. My photos were horrific. I'm so embarrassed by my first photos. And I realized that if I kind of am trying to advertise these menus for people to follow, that the food needs to make them, the photos of the food needs to make them want to eat it and not want to spew. So I quickly learned that I had to get better at food photography and things like that as well. So yeah, I did that. I documented what I ate for 12 weeks, and it was exhausting because not every week I usually would be cooking for 5 nights. Often I would have a social thing on, or I'm going up to my family house for dinner or something like that. And so I actually still had to cook even if I had something on. But because I'd committed to the, you know, all you beautiful people, that I was going to share 5 recipes a week, I had to. And so I quickly realised that it's not a sustainable way to run a blog because I had time for nothing else, and the website needed all sorts of TLC and other departments. So at 12 weeks I stopped sharing 5 recipes a week and started refining the blog, putting extra articles and posts out there about how you can just start helpful habits and some practical advice around cooking and how you can set your kitchen up and things like that. Released an ebook, revamped the website, started a YouTube channel, made sure that all my social platforms actually represented the brand the way that I wanted to, and it's almost 18 months later and it's at a point where I'm actually really quite proud of it. But the first 6 months I was mortified by it, and anytime anyone ever asked me about my business I would be like really embarrassed, or if anyone ever brought it up in a group I would like want them to shut up because I didn't want to talk about it because it wasn't ready. But it was already launched. So I suppose that's the interesting part about starting something, particularly in the online space. You need to be super okay with it being not perfect, because if you wait for it to be perfect, you're never going to launch. So Food Prep Sundays has had consistent but slow growth because I haven't really put any effort into marketing the blog. I've kind of just let it be an organic thing as people find it and tell their friends and things like that. So now that I'm working on it full time, I know that I can probably get it to a point where we've got lots of people interacting with the product, and I will have the time and the resources, I suppose, to share more with the people. And so I'm really looking forward to doing that and continuing to share the resources with you. So yeah, I think that's probably the main points around Food Prep Sundays. If you're thinking about starting a business or an online resource or a blog or whatever you're looking at doing, just do some market research, find out what your customers want. I'm not saying not to do that, but I am massively recommending you to just dive in, because putting something out there like this, which is you and an extension of yourself, is incredibly humbling and really good for, I think, self-development in general. I think I became a better employee in other businesses through running my own business as well. So I hope you got some stuff out of that, and I suppose raises the veil a little bit around the face behind Food Prep Sundays. I know social media can make it look super glamorous, but it most definitely isn't. It requires a lot of work, but it is a hell of a lot of fun if you're looking at getting into it. So if you're not already part of the journey, I hope to have you on board. Feel free to sign up to the 12-week challenge, and I will see you soon. Enjoy.